Hello there, fellow humans, and today I'm going to look at the LT432 and the Su130 because they are in shop, and all I can say at this point is get the T482 and the Object 2 FTU instead because they are better and also easier to play. And also completely ignore the T44-100 and the T20 HTC concept. They are a complete waste of money, and the same goes for these down here as well, except for the Chieftain. Get the Chieftain because the Chieftain is one of the best tier 10s that you can actually get in the whole game. So that is definitely nice, whereas the others are just there. Now, the point is, with this bundle, 8.5k for both, the LT432 doesn't even get the Better Than Eyes 5 award. Now, why is that? Let's have a look at stats, and then let's play them. Now, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate that, and also check out the links in the description. So, the point is here with the LT432, it's relatively easy. The DPM is worse than the T432 Lightweight. The, well, gun elevation is also worse, the dispersion is worse, the actual powder weight ratio is worse, and obviously 1 kilometer an hour difference is not going to make any change whatsoever. However, the T4 Lightweight is faster by quite a bit, just traverses slightly bit slower and has less camera rating because it is higher. That's the only disadvantage the T4 Lightweight has, it is higher. It also has better armor and better protection at that. Now, normally, a premium tank will outperform a standard tank by quite a lot, because obviously standard tank gets played stock, gets played with standard crew. Here, it doesn't perform it at all. Pretty much, the difference is very small. So basically, if the T4 Lightweight would also be a premium, it would outperform the LT432 massively, because then people wouldn't have to play it with stock crews and stock guns and stuff like that. So the T4 Lightweight is the better vehicle. The T130 LT is not worth it at all, even for 4,000 gold, like the T44-100, it's not worth it, because enriching the T4 Lightweight, while not being a great idea in terms of the credit percentage, is better. So, with that said, you go to the Su130, which is actually a lot more interesting than the LT432. While the LT432 is a fast turd on wheels, the Su130 is a very capable tank destroyer, which is nice to see. Now, it is somewhat on par with the Scorpion G, where it does have less DPM, but does have slightly better aim time and dispersion, 1 degree more gun depression, and slightly better effective powder weight ratio, and more camo rating as well. So basically, what you do here is you also trade the loss of the fully traversable turret on the Su130, and the gun depression only properly working over the side, for a more well-rounded tank on the Scorpion G. I personally prefer the Scorpion G, however, the Su130 is a very capable and very strong tier 8 tank destroyer, however only for skilled players. So we go now with the LT432, and obviously I have no respect or value for this vehicle because it is simply a worse T4 Lightweight. And obviously if you sell a tank that is worse than a standard vehicle and you sell it for 8,500 gold, that is a bit much. The days of premium tanks being tier 7.5 and having preferential matchmaking are over. Now, if they were to give preferential matchmaking to this vehicle, so it can't see tier 9s, it would make it somewhat valuable. But it doesn't have that. So, all you do is self-handicap a already not amazing T54 Lightweight. Now, you are flatter, which makes it harder to hit, which is the only reason why the T130 LT is good, because in everything else, even mobility, the Leopard 1 is the better vehicle over the T130 LT. So, yeah, the T130 LT is not good. This one's not good. You just can't aim. That's the only thing here. So, at this point, we do have a vehicle that is just overall very bad. Now, the classic light tank role doesn't exist in World Tanks Blitz, where you're just spotting for your teammates, because the maps are very small, so you're not going to do that. And 90% of the time, the vehicle is going to play like a medium tank or a fast version of a medium tank. And for that, you already need a good gun. And that's not the case here, with 175 millimeters of standard penetration, which is even worse than the some 180 that some older mediums do have, which is absolutely abysmal and should definitely be changed to at least 195. So, yeah, you end up with a gun that is bad. Now, the platform, it's very fast, obviously, so if you're a good player, you can reposition this thing very well and can get a lot of performance out of it. But that's then you and not the tank. But because the tank itself is relatively useless, which is not great. Now, obviously, the T130 LT is better for its tier, however, it is still nothing outstanding. So, there is that. Now, with the LT432, there's no point buying it at all. Just ignore it. Unless you're a good player and you want to handicap yourself to give yourself a challenge. Otherwise, there is no reason to buy this thing whatsoever. Su130pm and on all the worst maps for this vehicle because it is very good at camping and sitting at the back. Now, a map like this is very, very bad for a vehicle like this because you don't have any armor, you don't have any protection. If you're spotted and you get shot, you are going to be penetrated. You have no armor whatsoever, and no, the little bit of extra bouncing that you could theoretically get once in a lifetime doesn't count. So essentially this vehicle has no armor whatsoever. And hey look, there's a good light tank, not the LT432. So yeah. Anyway, let's now see what we can do here. Obviously you can't push with this vehicle at all, most of the time at least. I think the Scorpion can be played more aggressively because the turret is fully traversable. And if you get light tank on your ass on this vehicle, you're dead, you're gone, you're out. While with the Scorpion G, you still have a chance at that point. So, for my playstyle, which is simply press W and shoot most of the time, but intelligently, press W and shoot intelligently, the Scorpion G is the better option. But the better campy tank is probably this one. It is very good at camping at the back. It is very good at doing damage from a distance. However, that does somewhat depend on you having a decent team, because if you don't have a team whatsoever, there is no one to spot for you, and there is no one to block damage for you, so you're going to be very vulnerable in a vehicle like this, because in 90% of cases, you're going to have to play off your team to get something going with it, and that's not great, obviously, for a well-rounded tank. It is obviously not at all well-rounded by any means. It is very much team-dependent, which is not great, so would only recommend this vehicle to good players that also know what to do with it. Well, the ST1 did go to the bad side. He did pay for it, and that's good. So, let's see. Can we get some peek onto the IS-3 here? If he does, he can. The penetration on this thing is relatively good, unlike it is on the LT432. Okay, now, Carnarvon and the IS-8 would be very nice to actually do some damage here. Now, this is a very suboptimal game for this vehicle, but I'm simply going to show it because even though it is very somewhat situational, this vehicle, it can still do quite well if played by a strong player, or at least a player that somewhat cares. So, well, I don't care, but anyway, that's another story. Here we go, IS-8, the lower plate, and that is 2,600 damage in a very unfavorable game, an unfavorable map. So this is a very strong vehicle, and if you are a good player, then I can definitely recommend picking this one up. However, only if you're a really strong player, and also if you like the playstyle of a vehicle like this. Otherwise, stay away from it, get the TF4A2. Obviously, I always would encourage you to get the TF4A2 and the Object 2 first. If you don't have these two vehicles, and you have gold available, spend it on these two, and not on the Su130pm, and especially not on the LT432. That's the video. Thank you very much for watching. Special thank you to all my channel members and also Twitch subscribers. And as always, see you for the next one. Goodbye.